I don't know if you're into like the fighting universe, so like Tekken or like the competitive scene basically. There's a individual called Low Tier Fighter, and I'm sure anyone who's listening to this podcast, if you've seen someone have a really bad take and underneath it is a picture of an African American man with like a little fro with lightning going around him, and his eyes are white.
He's the
yeah, like he's the guy who made the meme like you should go kill yourself because he infamously went on like a 5-minute rant in the most obnoxious detail, being like, you keep coming back to me, but I keep bodying you. You serve no purpose in life. You know what? It'd be better if you just killed yourself.
Kill yourself now. You should kill yourself now. And you're like for nothing. And you some zero purpose. Kill yourself now. You should kill yourself now. And you're like for nothing. You should kill yourself now.
I think he was playing like a 14-year-old kid on that game, and I was like, Christ, man! Like he's just a kid.
It's just so what makes that even more hilarious is the fact that he's like it's a legendary rat. He said, "I'm gonna keep sealing up my walls. You're gonna keep coming back because you keep smelling the syrup, you bitch ass nigga."
I was like, "Oh no way!"
He was done that day. He said, "Your life serves no purpose. You should kill you."
Yeah, you serve no purpose. You should kill yourself now. I felt the force off of that one. I was like, God damn. I love seeing. I'm really into Dungeons and Dragons, and we have like a small little group, I guess, like group chat. And someone posted a video of him, but he had like a little wizard hat on and a wizard beard. And it was the same format, but instead of like, it was like, you should cast lightning on yourself now. It was like, you serve no mana. Why don't you give some of that stuff to the other wizards? It was like, all you're going to be doing is cleaning my alchemy. And I'm like, bro, ain't no way.
I have to read this to you. But, tell me what you think about this this meme format, this mimetic comment.
All right, this is a very deep and esoteric lore meme.
I believe Low-Tier God examining the utility of humanitarian incremental support towards a utopia. Thus, those who serve as agitators in all walks of life are against and serve ultimately to hinder us in every conceivable capacity. Basically, they're talking about how in the utility of humanitarian goals, it is incremental to supporting a utopia, that agitators serve as a hindrance to society. Believing in this fundamentally in all of its physical makeup, they are far more serviceable in the greater schemes of society and non-existence. Thus, proposing they take their own life is the only way they can act as a sort of recourse for their folly. Do you know what this was posted under? A video called Low-Tier God, Suicide, Philosophy, and the Ethics of Killing Yourself. Now.
Jeez, they made like a philosophical point.
Like someone literally...
Oh, God. Yeah, I love how...
Someone literally...
What's up? Sorry, go ahead.
Took Low-Tier God's rant and was trying to find what philosophical teachings were more in line with that rant.
Oh gosh,
it's the most amazing shit post I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm so mad right now. Like going back to the fighting thing. For people who don't know, the main king of all fighting games, whether that be Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Super Smash Bros. Is this motherfucker called Sonic or something like that?
Absolutely insane.
And he's a fucking. He is literally autistic and a furry, and he just dominates the competition. Like no one can even rival him. And I'm like, it's not fair. Like you just have this kid like show up in a tournament wearing like this big goofy hat, and then I'm like, no way. And he just like mops the floor of everyone. He just gets his controllers like next tournament. I'm like, okay, like I don't understand
how.
The thing
is that, like usually someone is like dominant in a sphere in like one particular game that they refine their skills to the point where they're deities amongst one particular game, and that is through eons of reading the ancient arts of how to like tech throws. But this is not the particular case with Sonic Fox. No, rather he started at Injustice, did his thing, went to another game, Mortal Kombat X, proceeded to do his thing there, went to another game like Skullgirls, did his thing there. I'm like, what is this created character? What's happening here? Who in a what test tube baby has like gone awry and is just beating everyone's ass here?
Yeah, no, he's built different. He is him. He's just built different.
Unironically, they said, "Oh, I can present your heads as a gift to Shinnok." I'm like, wow, bro, this man is He's supposed to be the new leader of Outworld, and his ability to buckle under pressure is absolutely admirable. Like, wow, dude, grade A leader material, really.
No, we gonna talk about the most hated person ever. My personal hated, and I think community agrees on this too. Fucking Devora. I hate her with a passion. Despise her even. I don't want her in any more games ever. And if God had the ability to, I wish he would smite down whoever had the idea of creating that character. It's like annihilate. Like, I am right now calling upon divine intervention to smite this motherfucker for making that bullshit character. Like, I hate her so much. It's just, she kills off all the main good characters. She pisses the community off because she's not likable. Like, she killed Baraka. She killed fucking Melina in the most disrespectful way too. She like puked like fucking larvae and spiders in her fucking mouth like that Melina's, and like fatality her ass by that. I'm like, Melina's a literal Charcotton. Her mouth is nothing but teeth. Anyone with a fucking brain knows, hey, even though she has her arms tied behind her back, why not go around the mouth area where it's literally just a jagged saw show?
If you were gonna die here, why not just... You could have just done that, but they just decided... By the way, I also believe that Mortal Kombat X's Melina design is probably one of the best designs for the character, beyond the clear just pornography show that he had for Deception. But the Devora, for me, felt like a clear case of developer favoritism. Like, they even attempted to retcon her as... There's nothing wrong with having new characters. I just hate when they try to retcon a character that's always existing. Like, alright, you do realize when you have her meet OG Raiden and OG Liu Kang and Kung Lao, you're like, okay, they've encountered these characters one time before, but yet none of the texts, none of the stories at that point had ever mentioned a Devora. So I hate that level of retconning when nothing prior to this has ever mentioned Devora's character, and it felt like they were really inserting her to have a significance in the narrative in a way that didn't make sense for most like fans of the narrative, of the story of Mortal Kombat as a story. It truly felt like favoritism. Like, someone really was like did everything, made the storyline bend backwards to kill a fan favorite like Scorpion off. I mean, he was Hanzo Hasashi, but at that point I really didn't like his character. Like, I didn't like his fit. I didn't like his design.
I liked Hanzo Hasashi. I liked the redemption arc.
Yeah, like
using like the design. Yeah, I can see that. Like, I got what they were trying to go for. Because he can't be like an angry demon spirit forever, you know? Like,
the Revenant,
Quan Chi's dead, everything like that. He's freed from being a Revenant.
Like,
so I thought that was interesting.
That was a bit. Also, Quan Chi used to be like, remember Mortal Kombat Gold?
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat Gold was like one of the games that actually made him feel like an ethereal being of chaos and absolute anarchy, but they made him a jobber just like other villains within the narrative, so it's hard to really feel any sort of danger from him existing. Yeah, it was. That
was pretty funny watching him get his nuts stomped out though by Sonya Blade. That shit was kind of funny.
But yeah, yes sir. I think he has
Warlock. Quan Chi is pretty broken.
I just think that in terms of narratively speaking, there was so many problems I had with Mortal Kombat X, especially with like characters just walking off with characters. Like instead of just Sector killing them, he like took them as hostages when he really shouldn't have, and had no motivation as to do so. Or the fact that Sonya Blade lectures Cassie Cage for leaving her behind without watching the footage, or having she's like, I watched the footage. I'm like, so did you think it was important to have done that before you start lecturing your daughter about seeing her mother die? You know, really? Yeah, okay.
It's jeez. That just gives me a headache thinking about the story. I'm sorry. It's just you're reminding me now. I hadn't played the storyline in so long, and then you reminding me just recertifying my beliefs of how absolute dog shit the story was. I'm just thinking here like, damn, was it really that bad? I'm like, yeah, Hazy's right. It was that bad.
Anyway, the biggest problem I had with it was that Shinnok was a child of another elder god, and Kronika was an elder god. And this is the problem with this narrative, is that she's an elder god of time, and she brought back some allies that she could use to aid her course of action. But she also brought back OG Liu Kang, OG Raiden. I'm like, but why? If you have control over, you're a deity of time. Why are you bringing back all these other characters? There just is no reason to do so.